वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। अष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 7 चैप्टर 6 वर्स 4। तत्प्रयासो न कर्तव्यो यथा आयुर्व्ययः परम न तथा विन्दते क्षेमं मुकुन्दचरणाम्बुजम्। Endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed. Merely for sense gratification, for they result only in a loss of time and energy with no actual profit. If one's endeavors are directed toward Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There's no such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. This is a slap. All the people who think that the goal of life is economic development. Purport: we see materialistic persons busily engaged in economic development all day and all night, trying to increase their material opulence. But even if we suppose that they get some benefit from such endeavors, that does not solve the real problem of their lives. Now do they know what the real problem of life is? This is due to a lack of spiritual education. Especially in the present age, every man is in darkness in the bodily conception of life, not knowing anything of the spirit soul and its needs. Misguided by the blind leaders of society, people consider the body to be everything, and they are engaged in trying to keep the body materially comfortable. Such a civilization is condemned because it does not lead humanity toward knowing the real goal of life. People are simply wasting time and the valuable gift of human form, because a human being who does not cultivate spiritual life but dies like cats and dogs is degraded in his next life. From human life, such a person is put into the cycle of continuous birth and death. Thus, one loses the true benefit of human life, which is to become Krishna conscious and solve life's problems. So, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, merely for sense gratification, through economic development, happiness through economic development are not to be performed. For the result only in loss of time and energy with no actual profit. So, we should understand this. We should not live merely for sense gratification. If one's endeavors are directed toward Krishna consciousness, one can attain spiritual self-realization. The beginning is endeavor for Krishna consciousness and endeavor for economic development. So first stage of life, which non-Krishna conscious, is endeavor for happiness through economic development. Then when we come into Krishna consciousness, we will continue this endeavor for material happiness through economic development, but we'll also have some endeavors directed toward Krishna. As we make progress in Krishna consciousness, these endeavors directed toward Krishna consciousness have to increase both in quality and quantity. And endeavors for material happiness should go on decreasing. At one stage, endeavors for material happiness through economic development should stop. And endeavors just for self-preservation might continue. And all other endeavors should be directed towards Krishna consciousness. And hopefully by Krishna's mercy, next stage is no endeavors for material, anything, no material endeavors, just endeavors directed directly to Krishna, towards Krishna. And this is what we need to progress towards. So that is why these verses are very, very, very strong. Tato yateta kushalah kshemaya bhavamashritah shariram paurusham yavan na vipadyeta pushkalam. Therefore, while in material existence, bhavamashritah, a person fully competent to distinguish wrong from right must endeavor to achieve the highest goal of life, as long as the body is stout and strong and is not embarrassed by dwindling. So, a person fully competent to distinguish right and wrong. Because living for material happiness is wrong. So, one should be able to distinguish between right and wrong. And one who can distinguish it must endeavor to achieve the highest goal of life. As long as body is stout and strong and is not embarrassed by dwindling. And even after that, that same endeavor to achieve highest goal has to continue, but the effectiveness will be less. So when that body is stout and strong, one has to use it to achieve highest goal of life. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj at the beginning of this chapter, Kaumara Acharet Pragnaha. The word Pragna refers to one who is experienced and who can distinguish right from wrong. Such a person should not waste his energy and valuable human life simply working like a cat or dog to develop his economic condition. It's self-explanatory. Just you have to, everybody has to just take this purport seriously. That's all. For one word in this verse, there are two readings, Bhavamashritaha and Bhayamashritaha. But accepting the meaning of either of them will bring one to the same conclusion. Bhayamashritaha indicates that the materialistic way of life is always fearful because at every step there is danger. Padam padam yad vipadam. Materialistic life is full of anxieties and fear. Similarly, accepting the reading Bhavam the word Bhavam refers to unnecessarily trouble and problems. For want of Krishna consciousness, one is put into Bhavam, being perpetually embarrassed by birth, death, old age, and disease. Thus, one is surely full of anxieties. Human society should be divided into a social system of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, but everyone can engage in devotional service. If one wants to live without devotional service, his status as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra certainly has no meaning. It is said, Sthanad Brashtaha Patantyadaha. Whether one is in a higher or lower division, one certainly falls down for want of Krishna consciousness. The sane man, therefore, is always fearful of falling from his position. This is a regulative principle. Of course, I mean, nobody even bothers about this position today. That position is social position, social status, but this is Varna status. One should not fall from his exalted position. The highest goal of life can be achieved as long as one's body is stout and strong. We should therefore live in such a way that we keep ourselves always healthy and strong in mind and intelligence, so that we can distinguish the goal of life from a life full of problems. A thoughtful man must act in this way, learning to distinguish right from wrong and thus attain the goal of life. So, we should therefore live in such a way that we keep ourselves always healthy and strong in mind and intelligence. Prabhupada actually did not say here in body. We should keep ourselves healthy and strong in mind and intelligence. Our mind should be healthy, our mind should be strong. Our intelligence should be healthy, intelligence should be strong. So that we can distinguish the goal of life from a life full of problems. Actually, when we are in life full of problems, we can't get above it at all. We are just stuck. So we can't distinguish right from wrong because we are just going with the flow. But one is mind is healthy, mind is strong. They understand that they are not the body, their spirit, soul. Goal of life is to achieve Krishna, etc. They can distinguish the goal of life from life full of problems. Even though they might be in the middle of problems, but still they can figure out saying that, okay, this is not my goal. As in, I should not be wasting time doing this. So we should not wait. We should not wait saying that, okay, now let me earn a lot of money and then Later, I will engage in devotion because then the body will not support us. And we should be competent, fully competent to distinguish right and wrong, right from wrong. This also is important. So, which is Guru Sadhu Shastra, right? So, we should read Shastra, we should hear from exalted souls, and then we should be able to distinguish in our own life, apply, put that knowledge in practice, Vijnana, and distinguish right from wrong, and don't engage in the wrong. And what is wrong is anything which takes us away from the highest goal of life is wrong. पुंसो वर्षशतं ह्यायुस् तदर्धं चाजितात्मनः निष्फलं यदसौ रात्र्यां शेतेन्धं प्रापितस्तमः. Every human being has a maximum duration of life of 100 years, maximum. But for one who cannot control his senses, half of those years are completely lost because at night he sleeps 12 hours. One who cannot control his senses sleeps for 12 hours, being covered by ignorance. Therefore, such a person has a lifetime of only 50 years. So this is for those who are in the mode of ignorance. Tamoguna, they just lost, uh, half of their lifetime, whatever it is. Maximum is 100, but nobody lives up to 100. So if it takes 70 years, productive years, 60, 70 maybe, then half of it is gone. 35 years is gone, just sleeping. This is for a person in mode of ignorance. Lord Brahma, a human being, Krishna, and an ant all live for 100 years, but their lifetimes of 100 years are different from one another. This world is a relative world, and its relative moments of time are different. Thus, the 100 years of Brahma are not the same as the 100 years of a human being. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand that Brahma's daytime of 12 hours equals 43 lakh times 1000 years, which is one day. Sahasra Yoga Paryanta Mahariyat Brahmano Viduhu. Thus, the Varsha Shatam or 100 years are relatively different according to time, person, and circumstances. As far as human beings are concerned, the calculation given here is right for the general public. Although one has a maximum of 100 years of life, by sleeping one loses 50 years. Eating, sleeping, sex life, and fear are the four bodily necessities, but to utilize the full duration of life of a person desiring to advance in spiritual consciousness must reduce these activities. Must reduce these activities. So obviously first is sex life has to end, fear has to end, sleeping has to reduce slowly, eating also has to reduce. So that we are not wasting too much time in these activities. That will give him an opportunity to fully use his lifetime. Again, so a person who is in bhava, he is avyartha kalatvam. One of his qualities is avyartha kalatvam, which means that he doesn't want to waste even one moment. Mm. Now maybe we are utilizing all that time, especially those sincere devotees who maybe all their available time, apart from their work, they might be trying to utilize it for Krishna consciousness. Devotion for Grasta. So our target should be that. We should be moving towards that. Whether one is working, not working, whatever it is, that's a different problem. But 8 hours, we should come to 8 hours of devotion. And then post Grasta, Vanaprastha, 16 hours of devotion. And slowly, then subsequently, these 8 hours of eating, sleeping, etc., should also keep reducing. That's when we can achieve perfection in one life. Otherwise, we'll have to come back again. So the important thing here is that person in mode of ignorance, he wastes half of his lifetime. But we might not be in this kind of ignorance, right? But we should still be very wary about using our time in useful activities which are going to take us towards the goal of our life. मुग्धस्य बाले कैशोरे क्रीडतो याति विंशतिः जरयाग्रस्तदेहस्य यात्यकल्पस्य विंशतिः. In the tender age of childhood, when everyone is bewildered, one passes 10 years. Similarly, in boyhood, engaged in sporting and playing, one passes another 10 years. In this way, 20 years are wasted. So 0 to 20 is gone. Similarly, in old age, when one is invalid, unable to perform even material activities, one passes another 20 years. So maybe not, yeah, maybe 60 to 80 if somebody is going to live up to 80. Otherwise, you can think last 10 years to anyway is gone mostly. These were normal jivas. Of course, devotees, Prabhupada always says that devotional service goes on increasing for devotees. For normal people, 20 years, maybe out of a lifetime of 80 years, 50 remains. 30 is anyway gone like this. 100% wasted. Then for one in the mode of ignorance, of the remaining 50, 25 is gone in sleeping. Like that. Without Krishna consciousness, one wastes 20 years in childhood and boyhood, another 20 years in old age when one cannot perform any material activities, and is full of anxiety about what is to be done by sons and grandsons and how one's estate should be protected. Half of these years are spent in sleep. Furthermore, one wastes another 30 years sleeping at night during the rest of his life. The 70 out of 100 years are wasted by a person who does not know the aim of life and how to utilize this human form. So 70% wasted anyway. This is the important thing. However, we calculate 70% of our life we waste doing nothing useful. Turapuren kamena mohena cha baliyasa sesham griheshu saktasya pramattasya payatihi. One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to family life. Please note. Who becomes increasingly attached to family life? One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled. Why? Because of insatiable lusty desires and very strong illusion. Mm. This lusty desires is just to enjoy with family, right? But more importantly, strong illusion. Oh, this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my house, this is my blah. Madman. Prabhupada says, such a madman's life. Oh, too much attached to family life. The remaining years are also wasted because even during those years he cannot engage himself in devotional service. So one is a person in ignorance. This is also another type of ignorance. One is sleep ignorance, the other is illusion ignorance. And then childhood, early years, later years wasted. So pretty much whole life is wasted. When are we going to do devotion? When our body is strong and stout, we'll say we want to focus on economic development. We want to, take care of our family. And time is wasted. Then when we become old, no, body doesn't support. This account of 100 years of life, although in this age, a lifetime of 100 years is generally not possible. Even if one has 100 years, the calculation is that 50 years are wasted in sleeping, 20 years in boyhood, childhood, 20 years in invalidity. This leaves only a few more years, but because of too much attachment to household life, these years are also spent with no purpose. Therefore, one should be trained to be a perfect brahmachari in the beginning of life and then to be perfect in sense control, following the regulative principles if one becomes a householder. So if one becomes a householder, he should be perfect in sense control. And he should follow the regulative principles. Again, I've talked about this before. Somehow thinking that, unrestricted sex with one's wife is acceptable, but it's not acceptable. Because that also has to be only for producing progeny, children, not otherwise. So even in Grahastha life, one has to be perfect in sense control. Brahmachari anyway is perfect. This also Prabhupada elsewhere writes saying that one who is able to perfectly control their senses, even in grasta, is also a brahmachari, is also a sannyasi. From household life, one is ordered to accept vanaprastha and go to the forest and then accept sannyasa. That is the perfection of life. From the very beginning of life, those who are ajitendriya, jitendriya means one who is controlled, one whose senses are controlled. Ajitendriya means one whose senses are not controlled. What are they taught? They are educated only for sense gratification, as we have seen in Western countries. Thus, the entire duration of a life of 100 years is wasted and misused, and at the time of death, one transmigrates to another body, which may not be human. At the end of 100 years, one who has not acted as a human being in life of tapasya must certainly be embodied again in a body like those of cats, dogs, hogs. So if a human being lives a life, frivolous life, without any tapasya, without just sense enjoyment, a high chance that he's going to go down to lower species. Therefore, this life of lusty desires and sense gratification is extremely risky. But little do people know that living a life like this will result in degradation. Because who cares? Who knows about next birth? Enjoy till we are here. Which is the reason we need to educate people on some very basic truths of this material world. That they are Atma, that they are taking rebirth, and that fortunately they've got a human form of life now, but they might just waste it and then degrade, go down to the body of a cat or dog or hog, is something that people have to be educated in. Ko guruveshu puman saktam atmanam ajitendriyah sneha dridayar bandham utsaheta vimochitum. What person too attached to household life due to being unable to control his senses can liberate himself? Who can liberate himself? Who is too attached to household life. An attached householder is bound very strongly by ropes of affection for his family, wife, children, relatives. Most of people's life is just about this, right? Affection for family. That's all. Only few of them even have other interests apart from this, let alone, leave alone spiritual life. Prahlad Maharaj's first proposal was Kaumara Acharet Pragno Dharman Bhagavataniya. One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. We read this. Dharman Bhagavatan means the religious principle also of reviving our relationship with the Supreme Lord. For this purpose, Krishna personally advises Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Give up all other duties. See, clearly Prabhupada is now not translating it as dharma. Saying just give up all other duties. What is the only duty? Surrender unto me. While in the material world, we manufacture so many duties in the name of so many isms. But our actual duty is to free ourselves from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. For this purpose, one must first be liberated from material bondage and especially from household life. Household life is actually a kind of license for a materially attached person by which to enjoy sense gratification under regulative principles. Otherwise, there is no need of entering household life. This is for one who is attached materially, of course. Regulative life is okay, will still help us progress. Before entering household life, one should be trained as a brahmachari, living under the care of the guru, whose place is known as a gurukula. Brahmachari gurukule vasandanto gururhitam. From the very beginning, a brahmachari is trained to sacrifice everything for the benefit of the guru. A brahmachari is advised to go begging alms door to door, addressing all women as mother, and whatever he collects goes to the benefit of the guru. In this way, he learns how to control his senses and sacrifice everything for the guru. This is what they are trained. When he is fully trained, if he likes, he is allowed to marry. Thus, he is not an ordinary grasta who has learned only how to satisfy his senses. A trained grasta can gradually give up household life and go to the forest to become increasingly enlightened in spiritual life and at last take sannyas. So, trained grasta, meaning a person who's been trained in brahmacharya and then subsequently enters grasta, naturally does this. He gives up household life at the right time. Of course, if we didn't have the good fortune of being trained in brahmacharya, we can get trained in grasta and still achieve the same goal. Mm, that's one thing. Now, second thing is the brahmachari is advised to go begging alms door to door, not for himself, but for guru. It's also said that, if the guru doesn't call the brahmachari for honoring prasadam, he doesn't come. He doesn't bother. That kind of sacrifice, everything for the guru. And no question of control, sense gratification, because he just follows whatever guru says. And they also address all women as mother at this time, because they don't have any thoughts of getting married. And also this thoughts of addressing all women as mother also is become like a mechanical thing in ISKCON. Just say Mataji, Mataji, but we don't really mean it. So one of the things I'm thinking to practice is to call this word Mataji in local language, right? Meaning Mataji is a Hindi word for us, or a Sanskrit word, Mata, which is not, we don't get that feeling of actually thinking, dealing with somebody as a mother. So also this, I've also seen some devotees from north, they call Mata, Ma, like this. So that it's not just like some Mataji, it's Ma. Ma means, okay, if you call your own mother also Ma, and then you call other women also Ma, hopefully you will have some feelings of motherly, relationship. And the brahmacharis are taught to do this. Mm. So after marriage, only one stree does not remain a mother, which is the wife, and then that also is restricted connection. And then trained grahastha gives up household life for a life of Krishna consciousness. Whether he goes to the forest or not is different. Maharaja Prahlada explained to his father that to be free from all material anxieties, one should go to the forest. Sitvatma padam grahamandakupam. One should give up his household, which is a place for going further and further down into the darkest regions of material existence. The first advice, therefore, is that one must give up household life. However, if one prefers to remain in the dark well of household life because of uncontrolled senses, he becomes increasingly entangled by ropes of affection for his wife, children, servants, house, money, and so on. Such a person cannot attain liberation from material bondage. Therefore, children should be taught from the very beginning to be first-class brahmacharis. Then it will be possible for them to give up household life in the future. Very clear. One has to give up. To return home back to Godhead, one must be completely free from material attachment. Completely free. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga means Vairagya Vidya. The art that can help one develop a distaste for material enjoyment. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prajita Janaiti Ashu Vairagyam Nanam Cha Yadhaitukam. By rendering devotional service unto Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment. If one engages in devotional service from the beginning of life, he easily attains Vairagya Vidya. Or Asakti, not Asakti, Asakti. Asakti means attachment, Asakti means detachment. And becomes Jitendriya, controller of his senses. One who perfectly engages in devotional service, therefore called Goswami or Swami. Unless one is master of senses, he should not accept the renounced out of life sannyas. A strong inclination for sense enjoyment is the cause of the material body. See, note this. Why do we have a material body? Just because we have a strong inclination for sense enjoyment. And this has been with us for lifetimes. Without full knowledge, one cannot be unattached. Asakta. One cannot be unattached to material enjoyment. But as long as one is not in that position, one is not fit to return home back to God. So we should be completely free from material enjoyment, from material desires, from material attachment. And of course, this is without full knowledge, but that full knowledge comes automatically by rendering devotional service. Meaning, automatically in devotion, Shravanam Kirtanam is integral part of devotion. So either we read or we hear, we get the knowledge. And somebody who doesn't have either of this, like opportunity to hear or read, but is very, very sincere, serious, surrendered, then Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Then Krishna gives intelligence from within. But either way, Prabhupada writes in other purpose that one devotee cannot be in ignorance, either by his own efforts or by the mercy of other Vaishnavas or directly by Krishna. He should be in knowledge, full knowledge. And full knowledge means what? That the goal of life is to achieve Krishna and that everything else is a waste of time. This is full knowledge. And one who comes to that platform, he will achieve perfection because he will become free from material attachment. Actually, this is not just enough. Prabhupada is just one way, yes, because return home where, if you want to return to Vaikunta, this is maybe enough. Or you can go to the Brahma Jyoti by becoming free from material attachment. If you want to go to Vaikunta, then what is required? What else is required? Vishnu, if you want to go to Vishnu, what is required? Hare Krishna. Is everybody there?
Vishnu Aradhana, bro, in awe and reverence.
Okay, Vishnu Aradhana, okay. Okay, in simple terms, to go to Brahman, we just need to be completely free from material attachment. To go to Vishnu, we should have some attachment. We should at least be in Dasya, right? So we should have some attachment to the Lord or His service. May not be much, but even if it is Vaidhi Bhakti, thinking of oneself as a servant of Vishnu, one can achieve Vaikuntha. Isn't it? And what is required to achieve Goloka? Krishna Loka?
I think exclusive devotion to Lord Krishna.
Spontaneous love for Krishna.
Spontaneous devotion, okay. Okay, one needs to come to stage of Krishna Prema. Without coming to stage of Krishna Prema, we can't go to Goloka. But we can go to Vaikuntha. If you have, through Vaidhi Bhakti, we can come to Dasya. Even if we don't have like love, but we have awe and reverence, which is natural for us towards God, right? Anybody, even little pious, have awe and reverence towards the Lord. And in that awe and reverence, just thinking about ourselves as sevak, as servant, can take us to Vaikuntha. But to go to Goloka, we have to go way beyond it and forget Lord Supreme position, right? So for which we have to come to the stage of Prema. Right, and that's mostly in Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, mostly. So many things are required to be accomplished, right? And we can't do all that if we are just simply stuck in material attachment. Actually, sometimes I think that devotees actually are not completely aware of how much effort is required to go to Krishna. Do we know how much effort is required to go to Krishna? Can we just go to Krishna like, okay, just being attached to our family, being attached to our work, to money? Can we go to Krishna? Yes, no? What happened today? Everybody's All the other devotees, everybody has been hearing. Why don't devotees try to answer? I'm asking a simple question. How easy or difficult it is to go to Krishna?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
This is like, a question like you have a bone, so you don't know what to do. It's easy and at the same time it's difficult. The renunciation, the moment you realize you're not the body, you're the soul, and renunciation comes in, and you're only absorbed in Krishna, maybe. And the way I go, Krishna is very, very far, very, very far.
Okay.
So like you सारा कुछ like सब कुछ त्याग के पूरा time you are in Krishna consciousness, maybe. I mean,
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. What about others? What is their answer?
The same with me also, Prabhu. It's very, very far for me. Material
Very, very far.
attachment.
Material attachment. Very, very materially attached. Okay, very good. Okay, it's good to know our positions. Yeah. So how is that situation of material attachment going to change?
I can say that only 1% has changed in me. I don't
No,
know
that's
if I.
fine. That's fine. But what does it require to drastically change it?
We have
Prabhuji,
to
the
put.
degree of sorry, I'm really sorry. It's becoming a habit.
Go ahead, Sumantra Mataji.
Hare Krishna, over the year, the degree of sense gratification has, I no doubt, decreased. But the bond, I shouldn't say bonding, but the this
Attachment.
lurement to it is strong, Prabhu. I mean, you get
Okay.
you get swayed so much,
Got it.
coming back, and Krishna consciousness is the right path, but it takes a lot of toil to be in it.
Okay, got it.
The
Okay,
sense
yeah.
gratification crawls. It really eats into me. Like we are two at home, I and Prabhu. I see a lot of difference between him and me. It's difficult for me. It is.
Okay, yeah, Ankita Mataji.
So, Prabhu, I remember the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna also said, it's difficult to control mind. I can control the wind. And Krishna suggests how to control the mind. Even though the mind goes, just again bring back to its position. So we have to put rigorous efforts and we have to realize that only Krishna is the goal of life, and we have to distract from that material enjoyment and come to here. The way we go more, we have to again understand that no, this is not real. Come back here. We have to bring back our mind to this position again. But yeah, it takes lot of efforts, and
Okay.
we have to put that efforts.
Okay. Okay. What about others? Anybody have anything to say?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
By increasing attachment to Hari Katha and chanting more and service, maybe slowly,
Okay.
slowly this attachment.
How to increase attachment to Harikatha
Um,
and chanting? Increasing
interrelated, Prabhu.
interrelated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm asking the question.
By following the instructions of Guru, so maybe.
Okay. Now, important question. How much? How many? I mean, see, simple, right? Like Guru is elsewhere, we are elsewhere. We are not.
Vani Seva?
No, but all that is nomenclature, right? But
Okay.
simple thing. Guru is elsewhere,
Right.
we are elsewhere. Guru has Vani, Prabhupada has Vani.
Right.
Now we've been in Krishna consciousness for years. We've been hearing the same Vani. It's not that Guru is going to suddenly start speaking something else.
Right.
It's the same thing, what Prabhupada is saying. My question is, if all these years, if the Vani has not had impact on us, why will it have now? Or it's not had the required impact, let me put it that way. Why will it have now? What is going to change?
But like slowly, like when we do service and when we hear Harikatha, slowly, slowly the transformation will happen. The level of lust, anger, greed, all these things slowly,
Slowly,
slowly
slowly.
come
So
down.
one is slowly, slowly. One approach is slowly, slowly, and then we don't know whether that slowly, slowly actually will take us to where we want to get to. Then
Mm-hmm.
maybe, yeah, it's okay. Then maybe we come back more lifetimes to get to the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Because this
Yes.
slowly, slowly actually has no, there is no definition for that, isn't it? It's at our pace. It's at
Okay.
our pace,
Yes.
right? That's what it means. Slowly means our pace.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. Okay, others? Yeah, Shashank Prabhu,
Hare
something.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Pranam.
Pranam. Prabhuji, I am remembering, I'm exactly what lines I am not able to remember. In our Braj and Kerala, one used to say, this path is very difficult. But who only reaches goal? Who sheesh de le jaye. Whoever fully surrender, he sacrifice himself, he can reach the Krishna actually. And he used to say, can sheesh de le jaye. Can you total body if you surrender, then only you can reach the Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you. Okay, so see, two things. Again, I mean, it's not anything new. It's the
Prabhuji,
same.
please don't say thank you. I have to get scolding actually. Can I just adding something to
No, thank you. Okay, take it. No, I don't want Anukul Prabhu to get scolded. I'm taking it back.
Okay,
Okay,
please.
okay, okay. So, see, it's the same thing that we've been discussing again and again. But I just keep asking questions in different ways, just so that again the subject matter becomes fixed in our thought process, right? See, everybody has different degrees of attachment to material life. Okay, some have more, some have less. Okay, now what is the result? Why is that? That is just because of our previous lives and our bhakti possibly we've done in previous lives, and the our mindset that we had developed. Maybe it's still continuing like that, right? So, which is why I'm very scared about this word slow. Of course, bhakti is gradual, but it doesn't have to be slow. There's a big difference between these two, right? It is gradual because it doesn't happen overnight. But at the same time, if we make it slow, it might take us multiple lifetimes. So
Okay, Prabhu.
first
I
of
didn't know that, gradual, that word I have to use, so I use the slow.
no, slow means slow, right?
Different.
And no, gradual also, no, slow also means at our own pace. Gradual doesn't mean at our own pace,
Okay.
right? So we have to understand this.
Okay,
See,
slow is at our own pace, gradual.
yes,
Okay.
gradual is step by step. I mean, it's not
Technical.
like today we start devotion, tomorrow we'll be in Krishna Prema, right? So there is some process, some intermediate stages involved. So it's a little bit, it's gradual in that sense, but it's not slow. As in, it can happen in one lifetime, it can happen in thousands of lifetimes. That is the
Oh,
difference between gradual and slow, right?
okay. I think I should have used gradual word. That was what I meant.
Yeah, but none of these words should come into our mind. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? So see the whole idea. So there are two things, okay, that we need to do, right? Again and again, it's the same thing. I'm just repeating myself, right? First is right association. Again, and this right association is such a powerful thing, right? What kind of association do we need? We need association which is going to repeat same things that Prabhupada has said without any dilution, without any dilution. And this, if it happens from the beginning of our devotional life, then there is no way we are going to be even bothered about these things, sense gratification and this and that and all that. I've seen most of the devotees, unfortunately, have got exposed to a little bit diluted version of preaching, or they have not taken Prabhupada's books very seriously. Struggle. They struggle, right? It takes time. But those who have completely dived into Prabhupada's books and who have that similar kind of association therein, automatically they will make progress. Automatic. There is nothing else needs to be done. Really, there's nothing else needs to be done. All we need to do is surrender to the hearing process and be in the association of strong, you know, dedicated, surrendered devotees who are like-minded, who want to achieve. What is like-mindedness? In this conversation, for us, like-mindedness is to achieve Krishna within one life, not even at the end of one life. Our desire is to achieve Krishna within one life. Right? If we have, if even remotely, if that thing attracts us, forget about the difficulty of sense gratification, of overcoming sense gratification. But just this statement saying that achieving Krishna in one lifetime or within one lifetime, if that statement attracts us, then we are done. Then we are done. Then all we need to do is put ourselves in the right association. And which is why Prabhupada makes one statement in Bhagavad Gita saying that we have to mold our life. Prabhupada says this, mold our life so that we can be 100% Krishna conscious. Then it's a matter of surrender, right? But the beginning, the starting point is when we hear this statement, I want to talk to Krishna. I want to see Krishna. I want to be with Krishna. When we hear these statements, if there is something in our heart, something somewhere saying, yes, I want this. So what should I ask? Is there anybody here who feels like this? Or should I ask, is anybody here who doesn't feel like this? I don't know. You have to answer this question to you for yourself. See, because if that there is no that desire somewhere in deep in our heart that I want Krishna, I want to see Krishna, I want to hear Krishna, I want to be with Krishna. If it is not there in our heart, then it's a challenge. Then our first step should be to somehow bring that into the heart again, which is the solution is reading Srila Prabhupada's books in the association of devotees. Process is the same. Now we can't say chanting because our chanting is already offensive. We keep chanting, that's all. Right now our goal is 16 rounds chanting every day minimum. Keep going on. But the real change is going to happen through association and hearing. Is that okay? Any questions, thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly, Prabhuji. I think this is what you said. I can see from in my life, I can see that I'm in a right process. It is just that the intensity has to grow bigger and bigger. But I can feel that the process is right and it's working. Yeah. I'm little cautious also that it should not happen that I feel that I am progressing because Guru Maharaj says that the moment you think you start your fall down, but still I can sense that serving devotees, as you said, we cannot serve our Guru every time, but we can serve the God brothers, God sisters, uh, the peer God brother, God sisters of other, uh, uh, you know, uh, Chacha Guru, you can say, and assisting them because ultimately our grandfather is same, Srila Prabhupada. So if we can continue serving the devotees and, as you said, engrossed intensely in reading Prabhupada books, nobody can stop us from reaching our destination. That is I'm fully convinced about this. And yes, as you said that um, the process need to be fast. The effect of that can be gradual because there are two things, right? One is our effort and second is Krishna's mercy. So definitely on our effort side, we should be as intense as possible and let Krishna take, his judgment about when he wants to give his mercy. That is something can come gradually. So we should not worry about that. We should continue doing devotional service and success is guaranteed. I'm getting convinced day by day. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and I didn't talk about service to God brothers and God sisters or other Vaishnavas. While that is important, but service without hearing is useless. Useless in the sense it will become material, mundane. We will just do it like mundane service. But actual service means hearing. So we should hear,
Yeah.
we should associate with those Vaishnavas who have followed this path given by Srila Prabhupada and who are much ahead of us. We should actually hear from them, and then thereby having got the knowledge, we feel obliged and we will feel like serving them. Right? That has to be the mood than saying, okay, here is a Vaishnava, okay, I'll serve him. Okay, which is also good. Anything connected to Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas is always good. But important thing is the hearing has to be there. And hearing doesn't mean knowledge. Again, I'm trying to highlight these points. Hearing just doesn't mean knowledge. Hearing means willing to take instructions for our spiritual benefit. Okay. Okay, there's nothing else, then we'll close. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah. Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.